Thank you for choosing our Patio Heat channel. I'm Steve. We provide tips and information to extend the enjoyment of your patio project. Our videos give you a knowledgeable overview prior to investing in your outdoor heating equipment. Whether you are a professional or owner-builder, we provide specific details for optimum heat coverage for your application. Post a comment or question, or for developed visual designs, send your request into designs@patioheat.com. We're here to work with you. For over 30 years, patio heating is the bedrock of our business, expressing what works best. Now let's get heating. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this residential patio deck here. Let's go right into the overall dimensions that I have. So overall dimensions I have here are 23 feet, 9 inches by 12 feet. I have a height of the ceiling approximately about 9 feet off the finished floor on this side here. And then I have 11 feet off the finished floor over here. That is to the top edge of the ceiling up here, not the rafters themselves. The rafters I have at 8'5" and 10'4" on the inside section here. There's going to be a fan here in the middle. I have it approximately 4 foot diameter, and that's in the center of the patio this way, center of the patio from the post here to the wall over here. And there's going to be a electric fireplace they mentioned. The seating positions are dining over here and reclining over here, and I think that's pretty much about it. Let's go ahead and look at what we can do to heat this patio up the best. So one thing is I'm going to show you my preferred application. However, the preferred application is probably not good for the fan. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But my preferred application would be to place 3 of the SlimLine units perpendicular to the length of the wall here. You can see one problem already is that the fan here is in place. So let's just remove that fan for a moment and take a look at why I recommend this. I do have these heaters centrally located within the span from left to right here to the edge of the beam. And then I have them at this one here is obviously centered. And I believe they're about 8 foot, if I'm not mistaken here, center to center. So 7 foot center to center. Let me go ahead and take that off. And then what I want to show is the footprint of heat on this. I should probably go in here first of all and just show you that there is a clearance to combustibles above the units, which is 6 inches above. So that's to any combustible above. These rafters here would be those combustible items. And then also you can see that the because I have this edge here at 6 inches above of clearance, this bracket doesn't fit. So you'd have to come up with your own type of bracket in order to secure this properly. The manufacturer does make a 2-inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch longer bracket, but I don't think this is going to be appropriate for this side over here. Let me go ahead and just take this off for a second and just look at what that might be. And I'll probably need to draw a line here first of all to get the true height of this. So that true height is going to be 9 3/4 inch longer. So the bracket that the manufacturer makes is not going to fit that length. And what you'd probably want to do is, just take your bracket here, for instance, and move it up and attach it to that, and then take a, just a steel plate, thin steel plate, the same type of material as this bracket here, and then just attach it from, we'll just go ahead and show kind of what it would look like if I was just to attach it to here. And let's go something like this here. And then let's see if I can do this properly. And just bring a bracket down to here so that you can attach it properly. and color it the same as the bracket itself. But let's go ahead and just take that off again, just so we have that set up right. But that's what I would probably do, something like that, and that would be true on both sides, bracket wise. You can move this bracket slightly over, so this bracket here can be moved. It's going to have to be moved independent, so let's show that here. It could be moved slightly over in the inside edge to reduce some of that distance that you need to follow. But again, we're going to go ahead and push that back and just let you know that that can be done. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat on this layout of heaters. So I have 3 of the 4,000 watt SlimLine units, and you can see with the 4,000 SlimLine units, this would heat up the whole entire space really well, uniformly, and I really like this type of application. So this would be my preferred type of application. Now, one thing I don't know for sure is the true distance of this, what this wall section might look like. But again, below the heater itself is 18 inches of clearance from the edge here to the right, left, and front and back, and then 36 inches down below the heaters themselves. So looking at the doorway over here, this should not be an issue with the door swinging out into that clearance zone. I'm going to go ahead and take that ray off for a second, and we'll go ahead and just rotate this slightly to see exactly how much room we have, whether it's going to make the interference with that or not, and I don't see that being an interference at all. So yeah, we'll leave that like that. And then what you could do is just take, instead of the single fan, maybe place 2 fans in here. And again, the dimensions are important, that we are meeting those clearances, and with that 4-foot diameter fan, we're not meeting those clearances. So what you could do is you could simply move the fan up slightly so that you're no longer in that 18 inches of clearance, and you're meeting the clearances combustibles in that fashion. There are clearances above the heater, but that clearance above the heater is 6 inches on all 4 sides and 6 inches from the top here to any combustible above the heater itself. So that's kind of what I would probably like the best if this was my application, just because that footprint of heat is very well throughout this whole entire span. So all right, so that's one idea, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off these dimensions. I'm going to turn off that fan, and I'm going to place that single fan back in place, and then turn off these units as well, and then look at what else we would do. A lot of people like to have the heater on the inside edge of the patio area. So I have 2 now, and these 2 are at 30 degrees going towards the inside edge. Now the reason that I can do that 30 degrees is because I have these attached to the ceiling. If I attach them to the wall, then the wall will cause the unit to only go 45 degrees down, because the bracket comes out of the wall, and then the bracket only allows for a 45 degree drop, and that's why I have them on the ceiling mounted. 6 inches of clearance behind the unit and 6 inches of clearance above the unit. The bracket itself should maintain that clearance for you. So let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat with this application. And you can see here that with the footprint of heat, we're really only heating comfortably this side of the patio deck itself at that height. And it's not my favorite. This is the exposed side of the patio, so any cold air is going to be coming through here, and you want to offset that cold air penetrating your body from that direction. So This is why this is not one of my favorite styles of application, but we could do is to simply place 2 more units on the outer edge, same type of thing where we have the brackets mounted on the ceiling and 30 degrees down, so straight down to the ground, 30 degrees up, 6 inches of clearance behind the heater, and with the bracket we're maintaining the clearance above the unit itself. And now we have a very well footprint of heat in this fashion. Now the only other thing that I do see is the issue with this doorway here. So this particular unit here is too close to that doorway. So you can see that we're penetrating that doorway here, and we would need to just move that heater, this one heater, slightly over. If we went just 4 inches, it looks like 4 inches should be sufficient. So it'd be a little bit offset from what the ideal distance apart from each other would be. And if we looked at that, we'll go ahead and pop that on here. So we'll go from the center point of the heater here to the center point of this one here, and the distance that we have is 10 foot center to center. So that would be 9 foot 8 inches on these two here. So, and that would also be 5 foot center from the patio to the center of each unit here. I think that's it's a good application here, but not my favorite because it's just not as uniform as the other setup that I showed. But it does work well. And another nice thing about having heaters on the outer edge versus above is that you do get heat underneath tables and chairs, that kind of thing. So your body is getting raised. So this is infrared light waves. Infrared light waves is kind of like the sun heat that you get. So if we were to be in the sunlight of a structure, we'll feel the warmth of the sun. But if we were to stand into the shade of that structure, we're not going to feel the sun at all, and that warmth will not be penetrating our body. So the air temperature isn't changing in either locations here. And if you're not in the sunlight, you're not going to feel the warmth of the sun at all. And that's exactly how the infrared outdoor heaters work, is that they are producing an infrared radiant heat that penetrates the body but does not warm the air at all. So you need to be in that ray. And that's kind of why this might be a little bit nicer for some, but again, I think it's a little bit of overkill with the amount of overlapping rays that we have here. So again, my favorite would be to utilize the 3 units that I showed before. If we took that off here and of course take off that fan, you can see that this is more uniform. And for this distance, I believe it was 12 feet here, we're getting about 11 feet of coverage, so that should be pretty decent. If you're sitting right here and your upper torso is over here, let's say, will you feel this warmth? Yes, this is the ideal footprint that I'm showing here. Infrared light waves do bend and stretch as they travel away from the heater itself. Sorry that I'm not showing that distance here, but as it travels away from the heater itself, it does bend and stretch, but the footprint that I show is the ideal footprint that you should know that's going to heat up very well. So, all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. And please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, not monetize. YouTube does not support our channel unless we receive a thumbs up from you, our viewers. And we truly appreciate you doing that. Thank you very much. Have an excellent day.